Hello, welcome. Tonight I'm doing side quests on Elpis for a while, and I don't know. I don't know how long I'm doing it for, and I don't know what else I'm doing, but I'm doing it. So, here we go. Before my subscription runs out, basically. Just in a day or two. If not tonight. I don't actually know when. Might as well get some time in with the game. Get my money's worth. A familiar, and all alone I see, and look at how thin you are. If your remaining ether were to be exhausted, you'd simply fade from existence, and we wouldn't want that, now would we? I suggest you visit the morning dew. You'll find the winds blowing in the leaves most invigorating. Perhaps while you're there you might seek out a friend of mine, and invite him to share a meal with me. If it's not too much to ask, that is. The morning dew may sound a rather morbid place, but it's quite pleasant, I assure you. Excuse me. My friend often goes there only to be lost in a peaceful, dreamlike state. I do wish he'd remember to eat more often, though. Cat, you're annoying. I love you. You're annoying. Yeah. Here. Yeah. Got a blanket and my hoodie. What brings you here, oh friendly familiar? Time for a meal, eh? Ah, yes, quite right. Thank you for reminding me. Still, a few more moments can't hurt, surely. I dare say you've noticed how refreshing it is to even stand in this idyllic place. The air itself is permeated with rich ether and fine droplets from leaf. Ease the aches from a hard day's work. Try a nice big stretch, you won't regret it. The best way to experience the healing atmosphere is to take a deep breath and stretch. See what I mean? The wind through the leaves, the waterfall's soothing spray. There's nothing quite like it. In our busy, day-to-day lives, it's all too easy to forget to look after ourselves. Naturally, that includes familiars. Speaking of which, I'd best get something to eat as you so kindly came here to tell me. As you seem new to these parts, my friends will probably be wondering whether you've lost your way. Go and put his mind at ease, would you? Here to report on the successful completion of the favor I asked you. How very dutiful of you. Would I be correct in guessing your little jaunt had paid dividends? Huh? No? No need to tell me. I can see you're practically bursting with vim and vigor. Why, even I feel better just looking at you, and I've done nothing but stand here the entire time. Oh, you there. Yes, you, the familiar. I need you to do me a favor. A colleague and I are supposed to conduct some tests at the ffxiv, but said colleague is late to arrive. I would go and find him myself, but I have preparations to finalize. Could you head over to the first balloon and tell him to hurry up? He is an observer with blue hair. Blue hair. Well, no, there's a familiar I'm not familiar with. Apologies, I couldn't help myself. So is there something I can do for you? Ah, the test. So deep was I in thought I completely lost track of time. In my defense, it was these very tests that I had been pondering. Lest you wonder, they are for a species of fish that purifies the sea by devouring carcasses. Small as they are, they're easy targets for larger fish. Thus did we imbue them with poison as a defense mechanism. Not wanting the poison to outright kill, we kept it weak. Even so, it gradually accumulates within the predator's body, and testing has determined that it will lead to a mass death. Though we wish to avoid this outcome, the concept for the fish is truly marvelous, and it would be a shame to abandon it. What to do? You could give it warning colors, you could warn predators that it's poisonous. But of course, in so doing it would reduce the likelihood that they will be preyed upon. Yes, I believe we have our solution, and it's all thanks to you, my brilliant familiar. I'll go and join my colleagues at once. We have a test to perform. Ah, do you suppose you could fetch something for me? For the test I have in mind, we'll be needing some bird of Elpis feathers. These can be had from a colleague of ours who specializes in avians. The man should be somewhere back on the main aisle. My thanks again, and see you shortly. Whose familiar might you be, and what is it you require? Bird of Elpis feathers, you say? I assume they are for your master. Here you go, then, and run along. You mustn't keep your master waiting. Run along and deliver the feathers. Feathers. Okay. 'Tis well he's finally here, but apparently we still need something for the tests. There you are, my clever familiar. You have the feathers, I trust. Yes, these colors are perfect. We shall grant our fish the same warn. the same to warn would-be predators of its poison. I say, was it the familiar who conceived of this idea? It was. Thanks to her, we won't need to revert our fish to ether. So not only did you find my colleague, you thought of a solution to our problem and fetched the feathers. You've been very busy on our behalf, and we're grateful. Here's a little something for your troubles. I don't know whose familiar you are, but won't you lend me a hand? A giant creation has recently dropped its fruit, and I'd be grateful if you could gather a few samples for me. You should find some along the northern edge of the isle. Large as they are, you won't mistake them. Be warned, however, that the fruit are covered in an acidic secretion. Before you handle any, you'll want to apply this steel-skin balm on your hands. Creations lie prone near the fruit, alive but insatiate. You liberally apply the steel-skin balm to your hands. Okay, so I'm only a little poisoned. Alright. Ah, you're back. Were you able to get the fruit? Oh, such marvelous specimens. My thanks. You may be wondering why the fruit's covered in acid. One day each fruit will become a carnivorous plant that preys upon herbivores, keeping their population in check. But until it matures, it needs protection from those selfsame herbivores. To that end, we tried giving the mother plant the impulse to spray its fruit with its digestive secretion. The fruit you brought we will examine to determine its resistance to the acid and make adjustments as necessary. My thanks for your help. You're looking a bit unwell. You must have got the secretion on you. You're a poor thing. We best treat you at once. There, you'll be fine now. You did well to endure the pain, but you should have used the balm. Remember to do so next time, alright? What should we do next, my little ones? A spot of sunbathing, perhaps? Alright, just 2 more quests on this platform. Oh, so much to do, so little time. Ah, a volunteer. Volunteer. How would you like to earn a respect and gratitude of Elpis, most gifted researcher? I require assistance in gathering eggs. A simple task, really. If it's so simple, why don't you do it yourself? My word, I wasn't expecting such impertinence from a mere familiar, but being the forgiving and generous soul that I am, I shall accept you into my service regardless. To business then. I seek Diadalian eggs, that I might ascertain their ability to produce and raise offspring. One somewhat disconcerting trait of these winged wonders is their proclivity for laying eggs here, there, and everywhere. That is the reason why I'm finding it rather difficult to keep track of the damnable things. I've neither the time nor inclination to go chasing after them myself, but I'm sure you don't mind if the parents take offense at you pinching their eggs. You have my permission to slay them if need be. If I don't see you again, I shall assume you've fallen foul of an angry bird. Ha. Fuck that guy. Hey. There are no eggs to be found here. You have discovered a Diadalian egg. Deliver it to Kellis to free yourself from his service. Oh shit. I assume you haven't returned empty-handed. Splendid. I now have ample evidence that the Diadon are breeding as expected. Then all we need to do is wait for the concept to be officially approved. But wait, if even a mediocre familiar such as you can steal their eggs, how are they supposed to propagate in the wild? No, this will never do. We shall have to find a way to improve their natural defenses against such threats. Two heads, perhaps? Fire breath? Cover their eggs in spikes? That might make them rather tricky to lay. Well, it's certainly given me food for thought. I shall have to discuss this with the others. Oh, are you still here? I suppose a word of thanks is in order. Thanks. There. Satisfied? Yo, fuck this guy. So much to do, so much bother involved in getting it done. I could have a familiar perform my duties instead, but even creating one in the first place is far more effort than I'm willing to expend. Hey. He made me laugh though, fuck it. Hey. Hey. Pop is created. Azim? What in blazes are you doing here? Hold on, you seem thinner now. This is why you do side quests randomly. You have much in common with her, but it's clear you're not one of us. A familiar, perhaps, although they did say it a lot in the main story that you look a lot like me, or that you remind people of Azim. So, Maybe not. Still. I suppose it's just like her to send one of her minions to poke its nose into our affairs, but since you're here, instead of hanging around like a bad smell, why don't you make yourself useful? I want you to take this latest work of mine, a new variety of fruit, to my colleagues. In the meantime, I will be cultivating more specimens and cathodic horns. Yes, you heard that correctly. Cultivating, not simply conjuring with creation magics. The fruit I produce is a labor of love. Now that my newest masterpiece is close to completion, I would have my fellow researchers sample its delights. I wish to hear their impressions before I make the final adjustments. Unfortunately, for all their wisdom, I find them intolerable at the best of times. Never mind when they are critiquing my work. For that reason, I would have you go in my stead. And be quick about it, lest the fruit spoil as a result of your dawdling. Yes, is something the matter? I've already given you your instructions and I prefer not to repeat myself. Now go. It's such a contrast to the normal, side quests of the hero of light or the hero of darkness or random adventure. Are you lost from little familiar? For me, why yes, I should love to try a piece. I don't mean to be rude, but this falls somewhere between rather foul and positively revolting. It's so bitter it's practically inedible. More important, however, is the question of whether this fruit would serve its intended function. If wild animals cannot bring themselves to eat it, the seeds will never be spread. I can't imagine this creation being approved in its current state. You are the familiar who ride with the Mixtalk, and I thought deuce, yes? And what do we have here? A new species of fruit, eh? Let us hope it tastes better than it looks. My word, what an unusual flavor, equal parts bitter, musty, and tart, and not entirely unpleasant. I am curious to know how such a thing was created. Grown from seed in the chthonic horns, you say? In my experience, leaving such things to nature leads to wildly varying results. To have bred such a specimen must have been incredibly time-consuming, not to mention inefficient. You wish to speak with me? My impressions, very well. Good gracious, what is this? It's so outrageously bitter, something akin to a wave of icy cold has spread throughout my entire body. I certainly wouldn't eat this out of choice, but it could be made into medicine for starving off the heat in arid environments. You are returned, minus 3 fruit samples, I presume. Is that so? Not one of them found it to their liking. They claimed my last attempt was too sweet, and now it's too bitter. Honestly, the nerve of these so-called experts. As they will soon learn, I am not so easily deterred. For my next creation, I'll cross-pollinate sour and sweet varieties and see what they have to say about that. I'll show them this wild varying results that come from adherence to natural process that have the power to defy expectations. As the familiar of Azum herself, I'm sure you can appreciate that. Okay, that's it for this general area. The 12 Wonders and Poten Oikos. Oikos. However you say that. That one definitely has more. But I guess I'll go here since I think this was the last place I went to before I went up here. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so we'll go here. And I remember talking to everybody here before they turned the quests. Or at least, I think I did. Yeah. Everyone certainly seems content to follow their familiars to wander about unattended of late. I must say it's become something of a distraction. I've been attempting to prune this bush for ages. Who is responsible for you? Azim, you say? In that case, I suppose some degree of independence is to be expected. I take it you're the resilient sort as well. You name it, I've been punched by it. That's wonderful to hear. The Akathana population around the Wonders is in need of culling, you see. The appropriate number of specimens has been moved to the Harboring Gardens as a far more suitable habitat, but the remainder needs to be cut down ere they harm the local environment. You can attract one by applying this nectar water to yourself. Perhaps over by the beacon to the northeast, we should hate for the creature to lumber over here and mistake anyone else for a tasty snack after all. Simply pull the nectar water and the scent to draw in the Akadana to you, and slay it, of course. Do not forget that bit. Oh. The sweet sense, with a touch of ripeness, fills the air. Oh my, that's a thing. Ah, the scent of nectar water and fresh-cut vines. You did as I asked. 'Tis much appreciated. The acathai grow and propagate quickly, too quickly as I have learnt. Excuse me. Their short life cycle makes them an excellent source of fertilizer in woodland areas. I had hoped this factor would be enough to keep their population in check, but it appears that without natural predators they proliferate so fast as to smother the local flora. Moving them to the gardens will do for the moment, but I must find the means to make them less invasive as a species, lest they be deemed unsuited to this world. I couldn't bear to see that happen to my darlings. Oh, did I neglect to mention that I am the creator of the Akantha concept? A great many of those who research the creations in Elpis submit our own concepts from time to time. You know, it would be wasteful not to put the knowledge we gain from our observations to use. Just as it would be wasteful to allow my darlings to be sent to Leith. Hey, I will make this concept work, I promise you that. Surrounded by such wonders, one cannot help but envision new concepts. Not all of them good, mind you. Seems like they get new dialogue after you beat their quests, so that's cool. I'm glad I read their dialogue beforehand. Well, who knows? I can always check back, maybe it's the same. Actually, I want to check something. I'll check later. Check after I finish this island. Ah, aren't you just adorable? Yes, yes you are. Can I help you? Hehe, my apologies, dear. Your whimsically diminutive stature misled me. Fortunately, I have a task perfectly suited to an oh-so-grown-up familiar such as yourself. I would like you to inspect the flower beds Norfolk here. I suspect they will have accumulated such ethereal masses. Should you find any, please bring them to me. Do look carefully now. If I needed someone to wander off with the task half finished, I would have asked one of the other researchers. Did you scrutinize every corner of the beds? As suspected, masses of earth in aspect. The gardens of the 12 wonders reflect the balance of dynamic and stagnant ether of all six aspects. An excess of activity in a single aspect leads to this type of agglomeration. 'Tis these flowers' way of bearing fruit, so to speak. Beautiful as that may sound, ethereal masses indicate that we must adjust the ethereal balance and help us to maintain an ideal environment. There's not for you to worry your dear little head about, of course. Such magic is as simple as breathing for us. Run along now. I am observing in the opposite concepts that specialize in illusions, of course. Can't you tell? I actually want to check here because I know there was an Aetheryte quest I did that I didn't actually finish the chain of. I'm curious if it links up with the other Aetheryte quests, but I don't know which one is the right. I'll be right back. I'm gonna do research. Do. Okay. Okay, there are two Aether current quests that I want to finish. Thank you for agreeing to accompany us, yo. Shall we? Certainly now. What was the name of your creation again? The Butchry, a delightfully roly-poly pudding of a thing. Ah yes, the one over at Ruminations Ramble. My brother Alkios is in charge of tending to it. Right this way, if you please. All these things. The toad-like creature placidly endures your scrutiny. There's my beloved Batroch Shy. Oi. Did he miss me, I wonder? This is my brother Akbelios. He might seem a tad gruff, but don't be fooled. There are a few more gentle or kind than he. You must be Yo. Maria has told me so much about you in an impressively short span of time. As you have likely already deduced, I am her brother Alkios. And you are Cleon, yes? The architect of this Batrochi, as you call him. Yes, I am. You think them ready for release. I would so love to hear their endearing Rotown forms bouncing around free in the wild. I've completed my report on the main evacuation criteria. The final decision will be made after a committee discusses the results. But based upon my personal observations, no, they are not ready. No, and might I ask why? Yo, would you be so kind as to give this Batrochai Oi a solid poke? The creature's lack of familiarity with you will help prove my point. You see, no response to external stimuli. The creature is far too placid. What was the concept behind the Batrochai, a defender of water sources? In its current incarnation, it has neither the instincts nor the means to defend itself, much less fend off entities intent upon fouling the waterways. I cannot, in good conscience, certify a subject so poorly equipped to carry out its intended purpose. In fact, I suggest you redesign your concept entirely. Thank you for your candor, and I was so invested in this darling ball of pudgy flesh. Such a pity. Yo, As Anson's familiar, you must have seen your fair share of the world and its inhabitants. Without altering its physical form, what do you think the Batrochar could do to become a more effective guardian? Could use the sun to grapple opponents. That's what I know those things for. Brilliant. What an innovative mind you have, yo. Yes, that may suffice. The introduction of an effective offensive measure could very well tip the scales towards a favorable judgment. Truly, then I shall modify my concept at once. May I bind these one and take him home with me. Once I finish making the necessary adjustments, I'll resubmit my request for observation and evaluation. Of course, you're free to do as you wish. I'll make a note of it in my logs. Well done, yo. What a helpful familiar you are. Leon seems so very pleased. I sense your suggestion was based on personal experience, the most valuable source of wisdom. Thank you for your creative assistance, yo. I knew bringing you along would be a good idea. Why, I almost wish I could have you as my own familiar. It's a shame Azum hasn't published your concept for the world to see. But seeing as you're here now, would you mind lending me your talents a while longer? There is one other creation of mine that I feel may benefit from your unique perspective. You've chosen to stay then? Wonderful. I realize we've only just met, but I feel such a bond with you. Yo. There is one more concept I need to finalize, and I can think of no other entity I would rather have at my side during these ever so worrisome evaluations. You have my IO somewhere nearby, don't you, Alkios? Yes, Maria keeps that one under her watchful eye, but I know that's the spot where it usually roams. Come along, we need to cross the stream here. Oh, I don't see my IO anywhere, which seems impossible considering how big she is. Well, that's strange. How odd. This is usually where it spends the greater part of its days. Yes, she never strays far from this spot. The scent of unfamiliar visitors has made her wary. Let's split up and try to find her. Her being a shaggy four-legged beast with rather majestic horns. You find a shaggy four-legged beast, and the horns really are rather majestic. This must be the Io. Ah, there she is, the nutty thing. Nicely tracked, yo. Hello, my lovely. Come to Maria now. Well, would you look at that? I think she's taken a rather liking to you, yo. And I see that Cleon has a liking for strout and stocky designs. Yes, the heftier the better. The EO is one of my favorites, round and robust, and bristling with spiky protrusions, a truly powerful beast. I envision her dominating any habitat she entered. What do you think? She's certainly an imposing specimen. Its physical strength is readily apparent, yes, but more than muscle is needed to dominate a territory. The creature's field of vision is obscured by that mass of wiry hair and curling horns, preventing effective use of its natural weaponry. In the wild, being unable to hunt and catch prey in a consistent manner culminates in a slow death by starvation. It is our recommendation that you redesign the EO as a grass grazer and resubmit the concept as a candidate for livestock. Livestock. Unsurprisingly, the EO here is susceptible to nutritional deficiencies, and we must administer regular ethereal supplements. As you appear to have gained its trust, would you mind doing the honors? You needn't convince it to eat anything, simply splash the creature with this solution. Supplementary ether is absolutely essential for such a poor hunter. We wouldn't want the AO to collapse now, would we? If I must change her into livestock to see her released into the world, then that is what I must do. Such a good-natured creature, which is a large part of the problem, I'm afraid. The ethereal supplement is absorbed into the AO's body. Thank you for attending to my creation, Yo. My AO would likely thrive as a livestock animal, but I did so dearly want her to become an apex predator. Oh, maybe there's still hope. You have an eye for these things. Could you offer any more of your insightful suggestions? Here in Elpis, we only observe subjects worthy of evaluation as decided by the Bureau of Architects. Leon should be proud of his work. It's heartening to see Io warm up to you so readily. She's always so timid around the observers. Please, Io, I have need of your worldly experience. My Io, my darling hulking Io, she was meant for more than grazing in the fields. Will you look her over and tell me what must be done? How can I transform her from potential livestock to apex predator? Please tell me you have some suggestions. I would hate to see my IOA relegated to the rank of cattle. Upon closer inspection, you can't shake the feeling that you fought similar beasts before. Such magnificent horns rendered all but useless by the creature's poor field of vision. The eel's monstrous claws seemed capable of tearing a man limb from limb. Even while with the eel's limited vision, one swing of its muscular tail would be enough to shatter bones. For true dominance, the beast would need something more, something overwhelming. What say you? How can we enhance the deadliness of my creation? Just give it Meteor. An apex predator should wield apex magic, something like Meteor, for example. It has nothing to do with what I observed, though. But I like the idea. Yes, deceptively simple, but devastatingly effective. I can already picture it. Akios, Maria, will you permit me to implement some new ideas? Yo has given me much to think about. Strictly speaking, any significance adjustments should be authorized by the Bureau of Architect, but I think we can allow some temporary modifications for the purposes of experimentation. That sounds more than fair. Thank you. If you could spare a few more moments, I shall take my creation and return with a new and improved IO. After living for years on end, our creativity tends to stagnate. I feel your revelations come as a welcome breath of fresh air. You make me wonder, yo. Are you truly your familiar? Your thoughts, your behaviors, they resemble ours far too closely. Leon has been gone for more than a few moments. How extensive could these changes of his possibly be? It is done. Venomoth. I thought of Venomoth while he was doing this. That's funny. Okay. Leon, you've certainly been busy, haven't you? Your advice began the process and then it became difficult to stop. After pushing back the horns and hair, I reinforced the talons, then moved on to arcane ability. She can now cast Meteor as well as Cherubidis. Surely now my EO stands at the pinnacle of predators. In all my time as an observer, I have seen many a creation, but this concept ranks in the highest echelons. The strength inherent to your EO is more than sufficient to ensure its domination. Wonderful, then I shall submit my refinements to the Bureau at once, but I think perhaps this new incarnation requires a name. And I know just the familiar to bestow it. Yo, have you a fitting title for this glorious creature? Queen Benefoth. Venomoth seems apt. Ah, perfect. It shall be known, at least for now, I still need to submit the official registration, and now the time has come for me to return to Amarat. I've decided that my next creation will be more of a companion, a pet, if you will, suitable for the amusement of children, and very clever familiars. Thank you all again for this most productive visit. I hope I might impose upon you again soon. We always enjoy hosting visitors with such enthusiasm for their work. Yes, and we very much look forward to observing your future concepts. Well, brother Yo, shall we head back to the Potek and Ekios? Okios? You did well, Yo. What a wonderful help you were with our visitor, Yo. Even for a familiar of Azim, I cannot help but be impressed by your intelligence and unique sense of creativity. I wholeheartedly agree. Your intervention salvaged some promising but unfortunately flawed creations. You have our gratitude for providing us with such fascinating experience. Oh, Alkios, must he always be so formal? Although he has trouble expressing it, I assure you, my brother is absurdly giddy with joy. Thank you again, Yo. While I'm sure your duties as a familiar keep you occupied, you would very much we would very much welcome another chance to share your company. Oh, it just keeps going. Will you accompany us a while longer? Okay. I'm gonna take a quick break and I'll be right back. Yeah. Okay, and I'm back. Tell me, yo, have you seen much of Anagonoris? This? Oh, so you met the Overseer Sokol then. He sent my brother a request for aid, and we were just on our way to render our assistance. You're welcome to come along if you like. You may be interested to witness the duty which lies ahead. Come along, we mustn't keep the overseer waiting. Okay. So I decided that I'm gonna just finish the Aetherite quests. That was a little fairy, a little tiny Pegasus. Huh. And I can do that with research. I know which ones to do in this place, at least. And they form into a final quest, too, which is cool. So I can do that for each area. I've actually already done it for some areas to unlock beast tribes. But I can do it for other areas, too, like this one. Yo, you're acquainted with Aqualos and his sister, I see. I've not crossed over to the isle in some time. There's only one reason they would ask for me by name. Alkios, Maria, and Yo as well. Welcome all of you. A summons from you can only mean one thing. There has been an incident. Yes, the Acolones went into a frenzy and more than a few of our observational projects were prematurely ended. We began sending rights, of course, but the task is burdensome for so few. Thus did I hope to secure your particular expertise. Oh, you wouldn't be aware of the practice, would you, Yo? Here in Elpis, we expedite the ethereal dissipation of the deceased by employing time magics. The decay of the corporeal remains is accelerated and absorbed back into the ground upon which we stand. As you may have guessed, the manipulation of time is Alkios' speciality. Whenever some unexpected event results in the mass loss of creations, it is him to whom they turn. That we do. Nevertheless, I do regret tearing you away from your important work. We've prepared a site to the southwest, so if you'll follow me, we can put this unpleasant business behind us in short order. When you research an electric collection of wildlife, it's almost inevitable that some of them will meet a sudden and unanticipated demise. Alcibiades. The overseer and I moved the bodies here, away from this site of violence. It's easier this way. This is them, the Occupides which fell victim to the Iconos. They were still being evaluated, yes, the poor things, they barely had a chance to fulfill their design. Their flesh and bones were returned to the land. We will ensure that their existence was not in vain. Seeing life taken mid-purpose can be distressing. Have you witnessed such events before, Yo? Tell me, Yo, how do you express yourself at these times? with an offering of Nemelia lilies. Nemelia lilies, a beautiful name for a flower, but not one I've heard of. I wonder if it was recently registered. And you offer these lilies to the fallen. Interesting. We do have a custom of gifting flowers to those we love and admire, so I suppose this is not so different. Perhaps I can prepare some blooms to take in the place of the ones you mentioned. Come with me, Yo. You can help me gather something suitable. When you're finished with helping Maria, it isn't safe to wander alone. I believe Maria will have some flowers to pick for you. Your thought process is truly amazing. Where did you encounter these notions that have never even occurred to us? Here I've made some flowers of our own. Even the fashion directly of ether tend to sprout with more life and color when you grow them in the soil. Pick yourself a handful and we'll take them back to the overseer. Aren't they lovely? They're called Corione, one of my favorite flowers. Oh, I'll just be fine by myself, but it's sweet of you to worry. I'll pick up a few more of these Corona, then join you in a little while. Maria's creations were acceptable, I trust. My apologies, I may have gotten a little carried away with the flowers. Not at all, Maria. Your efforts is much appreciated. Alkios, if you would be so kind. Vessels within which life once flowed, cheating of purpose, stilled and cold. Unto the land you now return, the fuel upon which new life shall burn. Whoa. That was a beautiful service. I like to think it brought some joy to their departed souls, much as one feels when receiving a thoughtful gift. Yes, the flowers were the perfect addition. How fortunate we are to have this knowledgeable familiar in our midst. We must return and commit this event to parchment while it remains fresh in our minds. A potential shift in our traditions is a historic moment worth recording. Thank you again, Alkios. We are ever grateful for your calming presence. And our thanks to you, Maria and Yo, not only for attending, but also for elevating the proceedings. Yes, you contributed more than enough. Allow us to take care of the tedious administrative details. We hope to see you again soon, Yo. It is time we headed back ourselves, dear sister. As you say, please, Yo, join us back in Potek and Okios. That was a different kind of service. I think, yes, we might consider some changes. What a fortuitous turn of events that you were present when we received the summons to Anagonoris. As time marches on, we encounter fewer and fewer of these truly new experiences. Yet, ever since you departed, it's been one surprise after another. I suppose we should expect nothing less from one of Azim's creations. And now we have the precious new ideas and perspectives to apply to our duties moving forward. Speaking of which, we really must be returning to our work. Be well, Yo, and thank you. May our purpose, or simply our paths, align again in the future. Alright, and there's one more. Here. I feel better now. I have a goal. Finished all the Aetheryte quests. I kind of remember them anyway, so it'll be nice to have a conclusion to those stories. I am pleased to see that you are willing to join us in further research. Thus far you have noted the Aloris' response to stimuli. However, the Allura have one more very special capability. Aren't you curious? You will be pleased to know that I have dispatched one additional Alluros to fly about 12 wonders then. If is working as designed, the phenomenon should be clearly observable. I expect that you will be able to collect evidence of it from my fellow researchers, say Oleros, Deoleon, and Goros. Do present your conclusions to me when you're finished. What fun would it be if I told you in advance? Better that you reach your own conclusions. Worked. Okay. I would advise you to keep your head down. I saw some manner of creature darting about in the air just now. If it carries on like that, it's only a matter of time before it collides with someone's skull. It startled me so badly that I accidentally created a winged fish, of all things, which itself escaped the sky as air. I knew it. Though, now that I have a moment to reflect on its speedy departure, perhaps the ability to fly is not so wasted upon aquatic creatures as I believed. Surely such a boon would give them air for unknown capacity to evade predation. The recent fashion for flying concepts may have something to it after all. I really must pay a visit to the Bureau of Architect next, and I'm in armor. I doubt anyone has registered a winged fish yet. We were fortunate that it was a happy accident this time, of course. You know how it is. Someone yells surprise, and suddenly you created a stunted servant with yellow stripes or some nonsense. We can't have that. A tiny winged creature. Do you refer to Ippothos familiar perchance? I did see it not long ago. I know not where it's gone off to, I regret to say. I would assist you in your search, but I must put brush to parchment before I forget what I meant to write. Outside of my observational duties, I have been laboring over a treatise on aquatic flora, you see. Yet regarding my work a moment ago, I was suddenly struck with how trite my conclusion sounds. I believe I know precisely how to strengthen it, however. I dare say even Almarat shall be impressed by my insight. Almarat may even appoint me to a research position at the Academia Einjard. At last my time has arrived. Isn't this the most darling familiar you have ever seen? Behold its soft and fluffy fur, its pudgy belly and charming little bell, its eyes that gaze imploringly into the very depths of your soul. It makes you want to dismantle and gobble its adorable ether right up, does it not? I dare not, of course. Whoever it belongs to would be quite cross indeed. Yet even to gaze upon it strokes me with a creative passion the likes of which I've never known. Mew. Alas, my muse, perhaps I need to create my own familiar, surpassing cuteness after all. So many fascinating creations frolicking about, yet here I am trapped with these climate records. If I don't receive a more stimulating assignment soon, my mind is like to crumble to dust. I see you have spoken to everyone, and what of your findings? Exactly right. The Lori bless those they meet with inspiration. After all, we are at our best and our brightest when our hearts are at ease. With clarity of thought and faith in ourselves, we can do anything. And what could possibly quell inner turmoil so well as a lovable creature like this? Mew mew. No. Ah, it seems duty calls. She senses another irregularity. Off you go then, dear girl. Without today's results, the Aloris concept will be approved. With today's results, the Aloris concept will be approved in no time. I am truly fortunate to have such wonderful familiars to work with, yourself included, of course. I have so enjoyed the time I spent with the Alora, if only all our creations were so sweet. Sure. Wait, where am I going? Do I have to reach the budget for this to go up? Because that's not gonna happen anytime soon, I think. Unless there's a way to cheese it. Anyway. Oh, wow. Impressive. Okay. Oh, okay. Alright, so I'm gonna call it here. Uh, Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Probably gonna be either this game or a different game. Just getting to that point. Alright, peace.